G'day and welcome back to the Shed of Basketball Truth. It is Studio 3 for Ball Don't Lie Australia, proudly brought to you by, excuse me, Dr Electrician, and supported, of course, by the local card shop of Woolloongabba. We're back. Little mini trip off to Dubbo, mate. Went off to the zoo. It's fantastic. Get there. It's genuinely magical.
I've been. It might have been like 20 years ago, but it was awesome then, and I assume it's still
fantastic. Yeah. And the most reasonably priced gift shop between here and Dubbo. Can't confirm, but obviously we're back. And thank you for joining us once more.
It's my pleasure, Mel.
200-plus gamer for the Capitals, yada, da, 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 da. But most importantly, local card shop, Woolloongabba Crackem King.
That's it.
Is back in the house.
That's on my resume right there.
Well, you said that as if it actually might not be, and I'm concerned. But, all right. Look, let's start off with some sad news for the season ahead in Sammy Mack.
It sustained a dislocated his shoulder in the grand final in the last minute of that game, and then made it all the way back and kind of just re-aggravated it and has made the decision that it needs surgery. I think he's dislocated it like a number of times in the past, so it was kind of like the last straw before getting surgery. So I wish him all the best. It is a real shame because he looked fantastic last week. We'll talk about it later with the Bullets, but he was certainly one of the bright sparks of that game last week.
Certainly was. And his season I've had the pleasure of watching up close, and the NBL1 level, it's been an absolutely amazing MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and just felt like there was a real roll on coming into NBL 25. Things happen. Obviously, he'll be back stronger than ever, I'm sure.
Yeah, hopefully. He's such an awesome guy, great teammate. So fingers crossed that he comes back even better. But yeah, rest up, Sammy, and we'll see you on the hardwood. Hopefully, at NBL1 time to get his legs back under.
Hopefully, says the captain of the Brisbane Bullets, who obviously, the Brisbane Capitals, who are, of course, would love Sam McDaniel to come back again. But first things first, rest up, get better, and let's see you back on the basketball court soon. All right. Well, look, speaking of, let's just keep the sad news sort of, going. NBL1 North next season will not have the services of the North Gold Coast Seahawks in men's and women's, nor the Darwin Salties in men's or women's. Both teams stepping back for different reasons, but they won't be there next season. Seahawks choosing to really, put emphasis into the junior level and other areas of their club, and Darwin looking for another division in the NBL1.
Yeah, hopefully what the Seahawks is doing is similar to how the step back from Northside happened, and they can regroup and grow themselves back into a stronger club from this, and then kind of get back up into that top level, because there's certainly enough people at the coast to support an NBL, like 2 NBL1 programs. And then I'm not sure what's going to happen with Darwin, but I was a bit surprised because from my understanding of their deal, I thought it would become better logistically for them after the first 2 years, but yeah, each to their own. I know they're always trying to push for that NBL spot, but yeah, unless that's on the cards now, which I hadn't heard any rumblings of, then I'm not really too certain what the move is. But yeah, it's a shame because they were like, certainly Darwin was a really strong club in the men's program, and then you look over at Seahawks in the women's, and they just had a tremendous season on the back of like Michaela Roof and Mila Goodchild, and then some great coaching by a friend of the show, Katie Jeffries.
Well,
I mean, they're all friends of the show.
They are, of course, but it was that franchise high. That was the highest run any of their teams, men or women, had ever put forward for the Seahawks. So, on the back of that height, unfortunately, or fortunately, if you want to, look at it that way, Katie Jeffries' team is now locked into that place since they're not in
the short-term future, definitely.
Yep, short-term future. That they're locked into that place as the highest ever, finishing Seahawks team. Yeah. So look, there are still some positives.
Best coach in Seahawks history, potentially.
Look, I mean, the runs are on the board. But look, and then we hear news like that. A couple of days go by, and all of a sudden, we've got Rip City and, not to be confused with Red City, Raw, both trying to get in, trying to get back in, with different ways. Red City have, from all reports, gone off and tried to improve themselves internally. They're looking to come back, and Rip City, whilst having done the same, they're also trying to bolster by adding in Moreton Bay Suns and some elements of Gympie, getting some support and members bumps from those two associations.
Well, that's the only reason they had to pull out in the first place. I'm not entirely certain why, like how they weren't getting the member numbers just in that location and everything, but adding those two clubs and amalgamating like the membership numbers allows them, like, theoretically to get back into the NBL1, because I don't think it was a financial decision that was made. It was basically based on they did not qualify like to the membership requirements to have an NBL1 team. It'll be great to have them back in the league. Like they've been a big part of the league for, I can't even think of how long, like 7 years now, I guess, or 8 years. But yeah, it'll be good to see them back in. Red City the same. Hopefully this stint in the NBL1, if they get in, will be better than last, because I think a few of their teams were a little underwhelming. They certainly have had good teams in the past, but the last couple they were kind of down on that bottom end of the ladder. So hopefully, coming back in, they'll have a fresh perspective and kind of get a little bit more talent through the ranks, so that they're slightly more competitive.
Yes, some would say stuck at the bottom.
Yeah. Look, I was trying to be nice, mate.
You tried. Look, if they do make it back in, hopefully they can have better results on the basketball court than they had in that short history in the lead up.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to wait and see. And the NBL1 North is, of course, one of the NBL1 across Australia is one of those tricky things, because it's a real test of your association in how it's set up, how it's done financially, because there is no magical, prize purse at the top.
No.
It's a big outlay. Yes, it's an amazing thing that you can bring in great crowds. Your players can get that exposure to different scouts at different levels, all these amazing things. But it is a cost outlay, and your association needs to be built in a way that it can cope with that. If things don't go their way, fans don't always turn up, those little things can be tricky.
Yeah. I mean, it provides a pathway, and that's kind of what the idea of it is. Like, it's not, and I don't even know if the North teams really make money off it. But like, if you're especially down in the South, you're just not going to get as many sponsors. It costs quite a lot to be in the league, and then it costs even more to pay that top end talent that's going to get you in that, like, top 4 to even top 8 kind of way.
Especially here in an NBL1 North, it was stacked in the men's side of the draw, especially the work we saw last year.
Yeah. But it gives junior players something to aspire to, which is kind of what the program's designed for, at least in my opinion. And it gives them something to strive to, like these young guys that are coming up through the ranks and playing for the Queensland teams and stuff like that. And they've got something to look up to, not just like college and the pros. Like there's a stepping stone that they can kind of hit and then launch themselves onto that next level.
Alrighty, well let's move things on. From we started somber, we're building back up, possibly towards the idea of revenge, not revenge, but comeback. Redemption maybe for some of these teams to come back in. Now let's head to something that was just a good old wholesome fun, and the Hoops Fest, NBL Hoops Fest over in Perth. Great few days of basketball.
Yeah, it looked like a quite a good success. A couple of the games, smaller crowds.
Yes.
But I think a couple of them were played in, was it a bigger arena? Yeah, so that kind of made it appear like it was a little less frequented, which was when I tuned into the Bullets game, I was like, ooh, there's a lot of seats there. But then the next night they get back into RAC Arena and you're like, oh, yeah, that's how it's supposed to look. So,
big old pumping vibe.
Yeah. It was great. There was a lot of good basketball, a lot of like surprisingly close games in a lot of them, even if they didn't like end the way you would have like leading into like 3/4 time. You're like, well, this is going to be a good game, and then it kind of just they went their separate ways.
Which does happen. Let's be honest.
It does. So no, it was a good few days of basketball, and obviously there's more that we didn't see with like the basketball without borders and the nationals and everything like that. So only judging off the NBL stuff, but yeah, it looked like it was a great success.
And of course the WNBL flavour that was mixed in there as well. Great job done by. Of course, Jacinta and Johnny Guana on the calls of those ones. So, friends of the show everywhere. Friends of the show
superstar
everywhere.
Friends of the show.
You know it. All righty. Let's keep it rolling and let's have a quick chat. Let's have a quick chat about a movie I feel like we've possibly seen before. Brisbane Bullets. They've come out and they've played their first game. And
I mean, if you didn't watch the game, you would think that the Bullets are looking pretty good.
Oh, this close.
This
close in the end.
It was a bit disjointed. The offense looked very stagnant. The bigs looked really slow. I know New Zealand is like a real court spacing lineup, but yeah, it felt concerning. I'm not looking forward to when they play against Perth and Sydney with the big shooting athletic bigs that they've got.
And the deep benches.
Yeah, it's just there was some bright sparks. Don't get me wrong there, but there was a lot of bits that you're like, ooh.
Yes, a few moments of that. And that classic disjointed, things don't look too great. Start of the game, come back we find a space in the game, either in the third or fourth quarter. There's that comeback, ends up being short, and what could have been if we just started better. And then there was the amazing press conference where Shula just laid it all out for everybody to see. I do kind of like that. I do really kind of like that. He just lays it out. And it wasn't too negative. It was that clear space of, look, this is what went wrong. We'll have chats to those guys. We'll have, there was positives in the game to actually find as well. But, obviously this is not where we wanted to be, and that's not where they were on the back of the, NBL Blitz push they had. So
yeah, look, it was certainly a rough start. And obviously like PJC is going to get his, and he created really well, but we're like, you come into the season with a lot of hope that the point guard that you've signed, and he looked really good in the blitz, and this could just be a blip on the radar. But it was really bad. It was a really bad first game. Yeah, couldn't have been much worse, honestly. But hopefully it's just a blip, and that like he gets back to the form that he showed in this preseason, and especially at the blitz, where he shot the ball well, moved the ball really well. Because he didn't really impact the game on either end. It was slightly more than slightly concerning from my point of view. And then Tyrell just getting made to be a 0 for that game. I was more surprised with that. I could kind of see it with Bateman in a few of the games that he'd played, that you could kind of get that picture that sometimes he's just float in and out. But yeah, I expected a lot more out of Tyrell than what we got. And I think, like, credit to New Zealand, they doubled him in the right spots and kind of kept him guessing. Like, I know that's what our plan was during the season, to show him different looks, make sure that, like, if we're doubling, we're coming from different spots on different entries, just so that he has to kind of keep thinking. But hopefully that'll develop over the year. And if he's going to play the way that he did in the preseason, he's probably going to see a lot more of the double teams like he saw last week.
All right. Got to remember as well, small data sample.
Yeah.
All that sort of early season stuff.
No Josh Bannon.
Exactly.
Makes you really, like, it is noticeable. That is our, like, shallowest position, that 4 position. So, like, Towie played quite well, but if it's Towie and then the backup is like Prather against kind of more size than what we want, then it makes it hard. So Bannon being included back into the lineup, I don't know what role he's going to play this week, but it'll be a big
game time decision.
Yeah,
so
it'll be a big positive having him back in the lineup.
Certainly would, and of course, like we talked about at the top of the show, Sam McDaniel out for the season is a problem. But, from all reports, we'll get around and help the team where he can. Obviously, that won't be on the floor.
Yeah, unfortunately. Like, that's a defensive player of the year candidate that you're losing. And I thought his offensive game had come along a lot, like in this off season, really, like, expanded it and started shooting the ball a lot better. So, yeah, it's going to be a big loss. Hopefully, Dang Adele can step into that role that Sam had last year and kind of be that defensive anchor and shoot the ball a little bit better than what he had been in the preseason. And kind of, if we can launch off that, and hopefully Bannon comes in really, really good, there's still a chance. I think, the offense looked a bit stagnant, and they'd kind of planned really well. Like, the coaching was really good, and their defensive intensity was great. So I think it might just be like one of those first games where you get punched in the face a little bit, and then hopefully we can bounce back and kind of come with that problem-solving attitude and get into the win column.
Fingers crossed for the Bullets. Obviously, we are fans of the Bullets. They are the local team. Followed them forever. Just not the start we were hoping.
Couple friends of the show on the team, you can't, and in the coaching staff,
Exactly. So, we have our allegiances, but it's also, it's tough.
Yeah.
When they come out and have games like this, and especially, over the last few seasons where that misstep early.
Yeah.
And then having to do it all late. We've seen that movie before, and the Bullets have not succeeded in using that model.
No, I mean, it typically doesn't really work out if you just start the season really, really slowly. I mean, we nearly did in the NBL1, but it's usually more the exception than the rule.
All right, let's keep it moving. Well, speaking of sort of who the Bullets played, in the New Zealand Breakers, dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
They're going to sign the big fella, Taco Fall. Now, this is a PSA 10 rookie that I actually picked up at the local card shop of Woolloongabba. Other cards are available. This one was picked up a little while ago. Absolute steal. As, you know, so many of their cards obviously are. But look, they've signed Taco Fall for these 3 games they've got when they head over to the NBA and the NBA crossover. How do you feel about it? Bringing in a hired gun for these sort of games.
I mean, I think it's a bit of fun. Like, it's a bit more publicity and stuff like that. I support it more when it's like we've had a couple injuries, we're a little bit short on like depth kind of thing, and that's when they bring them in. But yeah, it kind of just gets a bit more publicity out about the league, I guess. Yeah, it's just unfortunate that it probably comes at the expense of some minutes for like your Jonah Boldens and Sam Menenga, who actually played really, really well against the Bullets, like unbelievably well. Him and even Dane Pinnow, like there's 3 dudes that probably like at least Pinnow's can't play the 4. But yeah, it just kind of makes it like those guys marginalized in a way, because Freddie Gillespie will be back for those as well. So they've got 5 people that are all quite sizable to play that mainly 5 role, sometimes 4. Like Freddie Gillespie can't really play the 4 with Taco. So yeah, I think I like the hired gun thing, but more when it's like an issue of depth against, like if they didn't have a lot of bigs, then that would be perfect. But yeah, I just find it a bit funny that they'd go and sign him just, I guess, for the exposure.
Yeah, well, and probably to also try and avoid the jack jumper situation where they've gone and played a little bit of the FIBA tournament and ended up with a couple of niggles and different things, and then ended up being a bit short. But,
yeah, for sure.
Picking up the extra. But hey, I like it. The Taco Fall rookie card, market was starting to take a bit of a taco fall, if you know what I'm saying. So as a holder of one of his rookie cards, I'm happy with it. I'm totally okay. We're back. And, maybe I need to, get down and see Rob and, flick this thing on sooner rather than later, in case, picks up a niggle of himself. His own.
He could have like a 20 and 15 game against one of these NBA teams, and then you're back in the riches.
Well, look, she's a very nice card. The only thing that would make this better would be if it was a platinum standard graded card. But hey, PSA got in there.
Yeah, they got there first.
But look, Taco Fall, he's in for the Breakers. I'll have to see how it breaks out for them. That's probably enough puns for the season.
No, but it'll be fun to see him play against those NBA teams. Obviously, they're not going to play all their guys for these preseason games, but yeah, it'll be good. I think it gives a bit of a platform for like your Mo Kings and Lopez as well. And same with if Sean Bairstow will get any time. Those young guys like get a chance to have a run at that stage. Like, you never know what's going to happen. Like, could be on the radar. Obviously, Lopez is already on the radar, and he could have a good chance to show out and kind of solidify himself like Alex Sarr did last year.
Yeah, I'm pretty high on what I saw him do at the Blitz.
Yeah,
I quite like him. He's not super built out yet, but good strength.
17 years old.
Exactly. Solid afro, and just when he's knocking down the 3 ball, just with the last name Lopez. I mean, he's got to be a Disneyland fan, right?
He must be.
All right, let's jump in and look. Games ahead, of course. As we're recording, it is Thursday night, so we've got Melbourne Phoenix playing United. It's almost half time during that game, so I won't get you to predict.
Okay.
That one. Let's have a look at some of the others.
But it is the throwdown, like
it is, and you can pretty solidly lock in United.
Oh, is it going that way?
No, just traditionally.
Yeah,
I think Phoenix have come away with 3 of these.
Yeah, it was 3 in a row.
Yep.
I looked at the breakdown today, and it was like Melbourne, 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 and then it was just
Phoenix, Phoenix, Phoenix,
yeah, and then
Melbourne,
back to
Melbourne,
Melbourne.
Melbourne. Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably who would I would have picked it anyway. They're just a solid outfit, you know. They leave a bit to be desired at the 5-man position, but other than that, they're very solid. So Delhi played really well last week, like we talked about that we thought he was going to. So
much. All right, so let's skip ahead then. Bullets Hawks at the Wynn Entertainment Centre on Friday. Who are you taking?
I'm going to go against our Bullets and say the Hawks. I think, especially if Bennon's like questionable, I think Darius Days could be a real problem. And we saw our team get rather out rebound last week, and that guy is just a rebounding machine, like hustles like there is no other. So I don't see like Towie and Casey Prater and that being able to kind of keep up with him. Obviously, there's other positions on the basketball court, but I think he could make a real impact and get them over the line.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's a big problem. Look, I'll hedge. I'll go with the Bullets. I think Shula will, get back in the lab. They'll watch some tape, see some things that, maybe made some of these players look a little bit more introspectively on what's left for the season. Give me the Bullets, but Hawkies look good. Hawkies look good. Can't shy away from that point. Okay, now this one's a tricky one. Perth, Sydney.
Yeah, that's a huge game.
Yes, absolutely. Really? Even the particular official bookie is not splitting them $1.90 each way.
Right down the middle, yeah.
Gamble responsibly, all that stuff. If you do make any wagers on any of these games, of course. But, right down the middle.
Yeah, it's a hard one. Look, I'm gonna take Perth just for the continuity of it. Like they've got all the same players basically as last year, adding in a couple. I think early in the season, I think they should get it done. But I mean, they have all of the perfect people to guard Bryce Cotton. Or it's just like they just match up so well against each other. I'm more excited to watch the game than I'd like. Yeah, than this pick. I'll be staying up to watch it at 9:30 p.m.
Yep.
And that's a real stamp of approval,
That is commitment.
I'll be up till 11 p.m. watching it.
At least. If there's OT, it's midnight. Look, give me the Kings.
And we're straight up against each other.
Straight up. I nearly jumped in early and went in first, but a team with the depth that, Jalen Galloway in that first round plays 3 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know how that's going to go over. We did talk about this as our major concern with the Kings for this year, and it's going to be interesting to see.
Wildly. But look, give me the Kings for most of the reasons you just said. Why you're on the fence a little bit, but take Perth.
There's
honestly, coin flip.
Yeah, Sydney has probably 3 of the top 10 guys in the league to guard Bryce Cotton. You put in Galloway, you put in Liafa, or you put in Bullquell, and all 3 of those guys will do as good a job as you can on him. And then the athleticism of Cam Oliver and Xavier Cooks, they just equal out with Christian Doolittle and why am I blanking? Keanu Pinder. So I think it'll be a really great matchup. I'm excited to watch it.
Should be fantastic. Quickly through the rest. Cairns Taipans, Adelaide 36ers. Who are you taking?
I'm probably going to take Adelaide because I'm just not sure where Taron is at the moment. If he's back soon or this game and Adelaide looked like they were pretty frisky. They looked good. Hopefully Isaac Humphries can play better. But other than that, I think they looked a lot better than we expected in the preseason.
Yep. Give me 36ers as well on that one. This one, I'll jump in first.
Okay.
Jack Jumpers United, more of a proper grand final rematch. Still give me United.
Yeah, I'm there with you. There's too many injuries on the Jackie side. Yeah. Also, I've never heard of an ankle sprain being like 3 months. It must be one of those bad high ankle sprains. It's so hard for Shawnee Mack. It's his first year as a fully contracted player. But yeah, give me United. Even though they've got the double this weekend, I just think with Jackie's injuries, I can't. I can see them getting a win, but I think it'll be a real ask.
All right. Sydney Kings, Hawks, the freeway challenge on one of the worst freeways you'll ever drive in Australia. Literally stops halfway to Illawarra being an actual freeway. But anyway, Kings, Hawks. Give me the Kings.
Yeah, I'm there with you.
Give me the Kings.
They're just, so talented. It's very hard to go against them.
Yep. And final one of the round, Breakers, Phoenix. Breakers, Phoenix. I'll let you.
Give me the Breakers. I like their team. They looked good against the Bullets last week. I don't know if it's because the Bullets looked bad or they looked good. But yeah, PJC to kind of lead the way and go off again. So,
look, I'll swerve. Give me Phoenix.
I think it's a bit of a pick 'em. That it really is. That like if you can get something out of Sobe like they were missing last week, then it's a completely different game.
Yeah, I mean something other than tech fouls, obviously.
Yeah.
But look, and we've talked about them over the last couple of shows as well. Phoenix is just that team where it's like, ooh, there's bits. There's likable bits in so many, but how does it gel? Just give me Phoenix this one. Give me the Phoenix. All right, it is that time. Local card shop of Woolloongabba, Crackem time. Since it's been Hoops Fest, and they've obviously brought over Carmelo Anthony and Kenny the Jet.
Yeah.
Let's go with
from back in your day, mate.
Yep, too soon. I did love how he Kenny gave props to D-Mac. That was before he gave his speech to the team. That was very good to the Bullets, of course. But we've got a pack of 2023, 2024 tops. We've got a 6-pack here, mate. Just you and O. Nothing too strenuous.
Okay.
You've got this, I'm sure.
Kind of feels like last week.
Well.
Oh, no, Elliot was here. Wasn't
yeah. Oh, gave you a bit of a push, mate.
No, he did, yeah.
From memory.
He's really improving, so I'm very proud of the young fella.
Oh, I'm sure he'll take that to heart. All right. Okay, here we go. Card 1. For those of you who haven't played local card shop Woolloongabba Crackem before, this is how we do it. I read the back of the card. Whenever we get to the player's name, I say somebody. I don't obviously show Anthony the cards. They're all the way back over here behind my little privacy screen back here. But we've got 6 cards. If we need to, we can always go to the clues and try and help you out.
Hopefully not.
But it's you versus nobody, mate. I'm sure you've got this covered. And look, if you think you can beat the Crackem King, reach out to the show. Or maybe we'll get something going. Maybe we will. All right, first card. Since making his NBL debut as an 18-year-old in the 2010-2011 season, somebody has been one of the league's true superstars. He garnered all NBL plaudits 4 times.
Is it Mitch Creek?
It is, in fact, Mitch Creek. Yes. There is, in fact, a Mitchell Creek just outside Dubbo.
Okay.
Yeah, I drove past and thought, friend of the show.
Should have sent him the photo.
Well, coulda, shoulda, woulda. But there he is there in the Phoenix jersey. We're going to put that one in the well done column, mate.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah.
Good job. All right. Card number 2. An NBL newcomer. in 2023-2024 for the New Zealand Breakers. Somebody has a leg up on much of the rookie class, having shined professionally in his native
Matus Robstovikus.
I'm going to give you that one. Yes, it is that incredibly hard last name to say, but yes, that is it. The rookie.
Fellow Lithuanian.
Yep.
If I hadn't got it, I would have been in trouble.
Oh, yes. Wildly, for sure. Okay. Card number 3. Here we go. A newcomer to the NBL in 2022/2023. Somebody put up a whopping 13 double-doubles for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix.
Oh, it's Big Sauce.
Big Sauce indeed. Mr. Alan Williams. Alan Williams. Shame the big fella didn't come back.
Yeah, I wonder what he's doing with himself this year.
Not playing NBL.
He's got to be somewhere.
All right. Then card number 4, mate. You want to trot? Come on, empty chair.
Yeah.
Happy game. Let's go. Somebody was a point guard throughout his youth, and that didn't change when he hit a major growth spurt just before high school. Now standing at 6'9", he still runs the half-court offense with a plume, but he also has the physical traits of a dominant wing. Somebody makes highlight reel plays above the rim and embraces the flashier aspects of the game for the Adelaide 36ers.
Oh, is it Trey Kell?
It is not Trey Kell. It is not Trey Kell. So, good friend of the show, Jared, had a lot to say about this player's signing when he came over last year for the Adelaide 36ers. Signed last year. Born 2015, nationality American, hometown of Jefferson, Georgia.
Born 2015?
2015 is what this says. That is clearly an error.
He's 9. Trenton Flowers.
Trenton Flowers it is. There we go. NBL rookie card error. Nice.
There we go.
Look, a little laboured, but we got there.
Yeah, we
got there.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, two bangers to finish here. 2 bangers to finish. Okay. Card number 5. Let's do this thing. New Zealand coach Modi Maor, former, gushes about somebody whom he signed ahead of NBL 24 to add size, strength, defensive tenacity, and toughness to the squad. In my opinion, somebody will be the most underrated player coming into the NBL this season. Maor said of the veteran forward. Somebody has impacted winning in every contract of his professional career.
Vodanovic?
It is not Vodanovic. Hometown of Melbourne, Victoria. He's an Aussie.
Is it Pinau?
It is not Pinau. Oh, mate. Looking good. We had
who else is there?
Friend of the show. Friend of the show.
Was it? Oh no, he didn't. He was born in Hawaii. I was going to say Galloway. It's not him. Oh no, I'm drawing a blank.
No, I was going to say friend of the show, Jamie Petty, actually guessed this player last time he was on.
Oh,
Mango.
Oh, Mathiang. Yeah.
Yes.
I never consider him as a forward, but yeah, no, yeah.
There he is.
It's a shiny one too.
It is indeed. Alrighty. Well, there's only 1 card left, mate. 1 card left. We've got 3 in the win column, no question. 1 took a little bit.
I mean, you're still just reading off the back for that one. So let's count that as 4.
Let's not overreach. All right. Final card. Here we go. As part of local card triple Woolloongabba Crackem. Somebody has averaged double-digit points 6 times in his NBL career, including both of his previous 2 seasons with Illawarra. The veteran wing rejoined the team in May, adding much-needed scoring experience to the roster.
Is it Todd?
It is, in fact, Mr. Blanchfield himself.
And it's a shiny one too.
Yeah, a little,
Let's go.
it's like Waddle in the background, actually.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, gorgeous little card there. Number 34 of 175. Little number job to
There you
finish
go.
out
Well done.
this week's local card shop of Woolloongabba Crackem.
He's back at Mackay next year. You'll have to get a signature.
Oh, very much so. Very much so. And sadly, well, I'm not going to say sadly, but it was one of those things at the Blitz. There was a few kids came over for their autograph, and then he was just sort of left to, wasn't shown the same swarm that someone like a Delhi or was, but someone who can absolutely ball and just.
I mean, a few years ago, Todd would have been one of the most popular players. So.
Yeah, I'm sure. But it's just that sort of thing of players when you see them in different elements. It's like, come on, kids, what are you doing? Here's a guy.
Yeah.
Like, get out there, get that autograph. Go and have that experience. Trust me. That signature, it's only going up. It's only going up. All right, that is going to wrap us up here. Big thank you, of course, to Dr Electrician and huge support we get from the local card shop of Woolloongabba. Get down there and see Rob and all the team, of course. Their regular opening hours will be sorted after this silly, Brisbane Lions thing has been completely sorted and done and dusted for the season. Their opening hours will be back to rock solid like they've always been throughout the years. But there's a few of the higher ups have just popped down to Melbourne. The weekend.
Just a couple.
So, yeah. But all right, that is going to wrap us up, mate. Thank you again for joining us. It's always fantastic to have you on.
My pleasure, Mel.
And look, let's call it 4.5. That is going to wrap us up. If you are listening to us on a streaming service that allows those 5-star reviews, please do go ahead and do that. And if you are on the socials, give us those likes, follows, shares, all that kind of stuff. That stuff really does help. But until you're listening to us again, just remember, that ball don't lie.
It never does.